If someone wants to learn spirituality and wants to be close to God, where do they begin?
They should begin with learning. Understand the meaning of learning. What is learning? Learning is when you're ready to learn, it means that you accept that you do not know something wholeheartedly. You have no idea what it is. That's why you want to learn it. Because you don't know it in the beginning. Now, learning spirituality or learning the true meanings of words of God is very difficult. It's not easy. Two things in this world are the most difficult to learn. You know what those two things are? One is politics and one is religion. These two subjects are the most difficult subjects to teach mankind. Because everybody in the world thinks that they have learned it already. And yet the truth of the matter is that they have no idea what they are talking about. I have met so few people in my life who actually understood what prophets meant when they said something. And you know how many people I've met in my life. Because everybody thinks that they know what the prophets meant. And yet they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't have the capacity to understand what prophets talked about. Prophets were seven-dimensional beings, seventh-dimensional consciousness living inside a human frame. A consciousness which is so powerful that it can actually break the cosmos. The consciousness which can walk on water, a consciousness which can part rivers, a consciousness which can break the moon in two. These are events of singularity. A consciousness which can command air, a consciousness which can command fire, a consciousness which can command earth, a consciousness which can command water. Those were beings, and they were conscious of their reality. They were conscious of their own truth. That's why they all referred in different ways that my consciousness was there in the beginning. In many different ways, they said that. What they were saying was, when they were saying that we are close to God, what they meant was that we live in that singularity. And when they proved that they live in singularity, you call them miracles. They were practitioners. They were practicing singularity when they did their miracles. You cannot even comprehend how they were from the inside. You cannot even comprehend what I'm saying. They did not see a broken cosmos. There was no separate water. There was no separate air. There was no separate fire. There was no separate earth. There was no separate moon. There was no separate sun. There was no separate stars. It was all one. And they never left that place. So when they said that the singularity has decided that a comet is going to destroy this city for whatever sin, if you knew them scientifically, you knew it would happen. It's not possible that it will not happen. Because the singularity, consciousness of all that is, has spoken. And whatever resides in this flesh, which you call the prophet, is a representative of this singularity. And the singularity has spoken. It will come to pass. Those people who were close to the prophets and knew the reality of the prophets, you call them companions of the prophets. And just because they were living so close to the energy or the aura of the prophets, just by that exposure to closeness, they all became great saints. Just by being in the presence of that energy. You, right now, your consciousness is in the first dimension. Then there is second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, then sixth, then seventh. That's what it means. That's what you're asking me, that you wish to learn that. Closeness to God. God's throne is above the seventh dimension. So you have to ascend from here all the way to the seventh dimension to get closer to God. All of the duality of the cosmos will break down around you. And all of the duality of the cosmos will break down within you. You will die at every breath to realize that place, to be in that place where you live forever, where eternity is staring in the heart of eternity, where time slows down and the past and the present and the future of this earthly existence merge into one. Where there is that immense silence because of the absence of time or the slowness of time. Now just a tiny little glimpse of the reality of the prophets which I've spoken to you about. Are you aware of it? That is the reality of the prophets. The consciousness within is so refined. That's why they were all idol breakers. An idol represents duality. An idol represents corruption of the mind. An idol represents present in one place and absent in another. Singularity cannot be absent from anywhere. Hence, God is everywhere. Idols break down singularity in your mind and in your heart. And you will never know the face of God if there is an idol the size of your finger somewhere in the cosmos of your being, because the singularity has broken for you. That is the meaning of the concept of oneness of God. God is singularity. How can you break it? You've only broken it for yourself. And if you break the singularity, you have broken yourself. You have broken yourself away from God, away from singularity. That is a sin, but that is also common sense. When in the love of God and through the learning of your spirit, you refine your body of the impurities, your consciousness essentially is ascending through the cosmos. All of that process is hidden in your backbone until you reach God consciousness, which is your brain in your head. Hiding the brain is the face, hence the face of God. Everything will perish except the face of God. So it is to free your brain from all the false idols. And the last false idol you will meet in this journey towards the proximity to God is yourself, is you, your identity is the last devil within. So, you have to abandon all concepts of knowledge of God which you think you know. Look at the whole planet. There are very, very, very few people who actually understand politics, and very, very, very few people who actually understand the prophets. Everybody says they know. Their perception of knowing makes them very stubborn. They say they want to learn, but in reality they want to question. Because of their previous knowing which they have collected over time, that knowing makes them arrogant. And it is very difficult to teach arrogant people. That's why you see so few people actually becoming true leaders on the whole planet. And that's why you see so few people actually becoming saints. Those politicians truly learn politics, and those saints truly learn religion. There are very few people. Ask yourself this question: are you one of them? Who is sincere enough to say, I do not know religion.